April 30th, 1975, the Vietnam War ended with the fall of Saigon, now known as Ho Chi Minh City, forcing South Vietnam to surrender. In many records, the rooftop where the evacuation took place was thought to be the old building of U.S. Embassy in South Vietnam at the time, but it was actually at Pittman Apartments where many CIA agents resided. In 2000, after much research and testify, a group of reports from the People magazine found the building located at Zalong Street. In the chaotic afternoon of Saigon on April 29, 1975, a Dutch photographer, Hubert van Ness, at the time he was working as the staff photographer for United Press International (UPI), captured what became an iconic image of the fall of Saigon from his office in the opposite building. Around 2:30 in the afternoon, while I was working in the dark room, I suddenly heard Bertha Keeley shout, "Vanessa, get out here! There's a job on that roof!" I grabbed my camera and the longest lens left in the office. It was only 300 millimeters, but it would have to do, and dashed to the balcony. Looking at the Pittman Apartments, I could see 20 or 30 people on the roof, climbing the ladder to an Air American Huey helicopter. At the top of the ladder stood an American in civilian clothes, pulling people up and shoving them inside. Of course, there was no possibility that all the people on the roof could get into the helicopter, and it took off with 12 or 14 on board. The recommended maximum for that model was 8. Those left on the roof waited for hours, hoping for more helicopters to arrive, to no avail. I remember looking up to the sky and giving a short prayer. After shooting about 10 frames, I went back to the dark room to process the film and get a print ready for the regular 5 p.m. transmission to Tokyo from Saigon's telegraph office, said Hubert to New York Times. The war has ended 45 years. Saigon was renamed Ho Chi Minh City, and Zalong Street was renamed Little John Street. Time eventually eroded everything and healed all pains. It is the present that we should treasure, tomorrow that we should look forward to. Come to Saigon and see for yourself the beauty of Saigon and Vietnam as a whole, the beauty that traversed through all pain and hardship.